Can you now customize all folder icons? So as of 5.0, the answer is yes to do that. Yes. So we added that in for 5.0. You mentioned the Today feature in Themes. Instead, it would show SMS messages. Will it show these with the new multi-threaded messaging apps? So it will show MMS and SMS, but currently not BlackBerry Messenger applications. So that's the answer to that question there.
So I'm going to jump in. So there's a lot of questions we're reading about pricing, and it's a general enough topic that instead of answering specific questions, I want to talk to it in a little bit more detail. The way App World is set up, there is no maximum price per se, although there's kind of a ceiling that will make you get approval through to make sure that you're not just slightly unhinged. But the other side, and perhaps more importantly, is that when you look at pricing your theme, you're going to want to base it off a variety of different perspectives. So one, you want to base it off not just your assessment, but probably the assessment of others, maybe in a beta that you might run, as to what they think the value of that theme is, what kind of value it adds, how hard it was to make, how it might be custom or premium type visual art, like Mark was talking about how you might use the artist's artwork or songs or whatever as part of a theme. And then also how that would compare against other people within that storefront and that channel. And so you want to make sure that you're both competitively priced so that you're in a position that you can have success, but also not so low priced that you're really kind of undervaluing or underwhelming the user in terms of what you're offering. So pricing is probably one of the harder things that you're going to do in terms of building out your theme, but the good news is that you have a lot of opportunity to experiment. And one of the things we mean by that is that in a lot of channels today, you can actually run promotions where you can set a base price for the product and then reduce it for a time period and indicate that it's on sale for a couple of weeks or whatever. And it actually gives you an opportunity to experiment when you're pricing your themes and your applications in general, so you can see that does a $1 or $2 or $3 drop in the price make a substantial difference. And is it $9.99 or $6.99 or $2.99? What are the differences in perspectives and expectations from the user when purchasing an application or a theme of that kind of price point? Because you'll find that applications that set high price points tend to have lower ratings today, unless they're fantastically built applications, because at that price point users have a very high set of expectations around the quality of that application. So you really do want to balance all of those pieces together.
So the next question is, what impact will theme size have on the device? And this is actually going to depend on the creator of the theme to do a bit of research. We have a number of different BlackBerry smartphones, each with different memory capabilities in the market today. And there's a number of tips in terms of optimizing your theme size within the BlackBerry Theme Studio, Theme Builder, and Composer user guide in terms of tips and tricks in terms of keeping things small, including, for example, using fonts that ship on the device directly versus rasterizing, minimizing animation, and obviously making sure that your graphics are optimized for the device that you're targeting.
There's some questions around how do I get the information to you of certain images that I may own or icons that I actually own. The first thing that you'll receive from the storefront management team is a digital rights form, which will spell out the information that we're looking from you, including if there's anything from third-party content providers or if there are any license agreements that you may have in place.
All right. What impact does the theme size have on the device? So basically it's just application memory. So if you have room on your device to store the theme, then you're good, and if not, then you won't be able to run that theme. We're having problems getting the animations to work. The theme successfully builds, but the animation doesn't play or just plays once and then doesn't loop. Is there a file size limit? So the quick answer to that is no, or something else that we should know about in order to include animations. So the one thing you may want to make sure that you are doing when you're doing that is in Composer, you create an animation object, and when you set up the interactivity, make sure you click on the loop button, and you can specify a repeat count as well to repeat a certain number of times, or you can repeat indefinitely. And I'll do one more question. Can icons be attached to an animation? Yes, so you can put any kind of image or vector graphic as an animation. It's up to you to design what you want.
So the next question that we have here is, can people who are freelance submit themes to BlackBerry App World? And the question is absolutely, and a number of folks do today. You will have to become a registered BlackBerry application vendor, but that's very, very easy to do, and please, by all means, we look forward to seeing your themes.
There's a question here, can individuals submit themes to App World or only incorporate or register businesses? We, by all means, welcome individuals to submit their themes and their creations.
Does having a lot of SVG code and composer files affect theme speed? So it depends what you're doing in the SVG. So yes, you can. So if you have 1,000 different animating objects going around in the screen, of course you're going to slow things down because it takes time to move things around. So it depends what kind of animation you have going on. And of course, different devices will behave differently because of the different processors and stuff like that on them. When making storm themes, how do you get images to be both portrait and landscape modes? So up in the toolbar in the top, you'll see that when you're working with a storm theme, there's a link button, so make sure that is clicked on, and then any changes you make in one will be reflected in the other. And there's some questions about how do you do these weather apps and weather slot stuff. So that's basically you just create a third-party application, and you make it linked to that weather slot, and that's it. And then you actually get what the weather application is going to render itself in the icon. So and the weather information will show up automatically in the application name area. So it's pretty simple to do that.
So the next question is there a way to create user-selectable backgrounds in a theme? Currently, we do not allow any users to have selectable backgrounds once they receive a theme. That's actually the responsibility of the theme developer to create the background. So the end user, once they have it, can't change it at this point in time.
And I see Kyle has asked everyone's favorite question, are adult content themes allowed? Thank you, Kyle, for bringing that up. Generally, right now, we are not accepting adult themes in App World. Hopefully, we are working on something that would allow us to. But with that being said, what that is, we don't know, and when that's going to happen, we don't know either. So.
Yeah, and I think the other point too is that because of the multiple distribution model that BlackBerry and the developer ecosystem has taken, that you're more than welcome to distribute those themes directly from your website. You're more than welcome to distribute them via other channels. It's just specifically BlackBerry App World today that isn't accepting adult-based themes today. So it's certainly not a red light to stop making them or stop using them or whatever, but just a function of understanding what distribution channels are available to you.
Right. So question here from CDE. Does the device simulator now launch directly from Theme Builder? In previous versions, we had to export the theme file and then load in the simulator rather than directly from Theme Builder. Yeah, so now there's a simulator button in 5.0, and that works. If you have those simulators installed, you can go into the Preferences Simulator section and actually set up for each different device that you have which simulator you want to run. And in 5.0, there's also now you can hook up your USB directly to your BlackBerry, and there's a button which will push the theme directly to your device instead of having to go through the simulator as well. So two different ways you can preview your themes now.